Hi guys, thanks for tuning in. You're with Body Successful and I'm Dr. K. Are you feeling really frustrated because you feel like you're covering the bases, you're doing all the right things necessary to lose weight, yet you're not seeing any progress when it comes to your weight loss goals? Well, your thyroid might be to blame. And you should be concerned about your thyroid, especially if your weight gain is associated or accompanied with some new symptoms that you've experienced, such as sensitivity to cold and heat. You might be losing hair. Your skin might get really dry. So there's a lot of symptoms that are associated with a dysfunctional thyroid. And let me actually put up this diagram for you so you can see the vast majority of the symptoms that are usually reported. So you may be feeling foggy, like you can't think straight. You may notice a goiter. You might be tired and have mood swings that actually turn into real depression. You experience dysmenorrhea, which is irregular menses, is maybe another sign, especially when it's accommodated by PMS. You may have joint pain. You may have swelling, edema in your body. So, and you can see the list goes on and on. And it is really surprising that we see growing numbers of dysfunctional thyroids in our country. Currently, we see about 27 million have a dysfunctional thyroid, and unfortunately about 60% of them don't even know they have it. And another interesting stat is that if you're a female, you're actually 75% more likely to be part of the statistics than your male counterpart. So that really is kind of sad for us women. So anyways, the purpose of my video today as a result is to provide you with an in-home, easy to follow, non-invasive, cheap test to test your thyroid to tip off a possible thyroid dysfunction. So let's talk about the thyroid a little bit. The thyroid is a gland and it's located in front of your throat. It's a butterfly-shaped gland that is responsible for so many different functions in your body. And in fact, it plays a major role in the metabolism of every cell of the body. It helps to increase the metabolic activity of mass majority of the cells. And of course, what's important to us today, that it helps to regulate the body's temperature levels. When the thyroid hormone expression is dysregulated, the body temperature will be altered. Now, this is really useful for us to know, obviously, because based on what we just learned, that measuring our basal body temperature is a very good way, a good start to determine our thyroid health. So, the way we're going to be using is, as I mentioned above, because there's such a strong correlation between the basal body temperature and the thyroid function. I mean, this actually has been studied quite a bit. There are a lot of clinical studies that show the validity and the strong relationship between, for example, hypothyroidism and low body temperature, and vice versa, hyperthyroidism, of course, and chronically high body temperature. So we're going to be utilizing our axilla or our armpit. So we need to know what normal temperature would be for the body when we measure it in that part of the body. So a normal body temperature for your axilla or your underarm would be 97.8 to 98.2 degrees Fahrenheit, or if you're measuring in centigrade, 36.6 to 37. And if your temperature is consistently under 97.4 Fahrenheit or 36.5 degrees centigrade, then you most likely have an under-functioning thyroid. And of course, the opposite, if your body runs always above 99 degrees Fahrenheit, a hyperactive thyroid is suspected. And so now we know that these are the numbers. Now, how do we measure this? It is really important to understand, consensus is out on this, that a digital thermometer is not useful for this particular test. You're going to have to get a good old-fashioned mercury thermometer. And if you're concerned about the toxic effects of mercury in the event that it would break, then you can use a Gallistan, which is another liquid thermometer. You can get it off of the internet. You can get it off of Amazon for a few bucks. You can see that this is the way it looks like. I put it up for you. Like I said, yeah, you can get it online, and it'll function just great for you. So here's the instructions on how you're gonna be actually taking your axillary temperature to make it really, really accurate for you, because accuracy is key for this particular test. It's simple, but you have to make it accurate. So you're gonna get an old-fashioned mercury thermometer or a Gallistan, as I mentioned above, and you're gonna put it by your bedside. You're gonna shake it down to 95 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 35 degrees Celsius. And upon rising in the morning, you're not gonna get out of bed, you're not gonna be drinking, eating anything, you're not gonna be basically moving at all. As soon as you open your eyes, you're gonna put the thermometer deep into your armpit for 10 minutes. And you're gonna record the temperature afterwards. Now you have to be sure that you place it against your skin and not an article of clothing, and the tip is going to be facing up into the armpit region. Now this process allows you to measure your lowest temperature of the day, and that's what we are interested in. Now the temperature should be taken consecutively for 4 days. Now, if you are not comfortable with that and you'd rather put it in your mouth, if you are using an oral thermometer, then you must realize that you have to put it under your tongue, and then the oral temperature is typically about half a degree higher. So you have to be sure to subtract half a degree from the results so you can be closer to the under armpit temperature. Now, if you're using a Gallistan or a mercury thermometer in this situation, you only have to leave it in for 5 minutes. But for simplicity purposes, I still recommend you guys to use you know, the under armpit. It just takes a little bit longer to do. Now, there's something to watch out for. If you're a female and of a menstruating age and you're ovulating, obviously, when you ovulate, your body temperature naturally rises to make, you know, the eggs more fertile. So you want to make sure that you're not performing the test around that time. So a safe window to do this test would be the second day after the onset of your menses, up and no closer than 4 days before your ovulation period. So that would give you kind of a window of about 10 days. And that's a really good period of time to measure to get the most accurate results. Another thing that you can also, you should also pay attention to is, suppose you're fighting some form of an infection, you feel like you're coming down with something, you do not want to be performing this test either. And I'm not even talking about fever, I'm talking you have a minor infection, you have a runny nose, or whatever that be. The temperature can rise a little bit in order to fight off the pathogens, so then it's not going to be accurate again. So you want to stay away from those times altogether. So suppose now you perform the test and you have some concern. You might have either hypo or hypothyroidism according to the results you found. So the next step obviously would be to follow it up with a thyroid panel with your physician. Now, some of you may not have this option. You may not have insurance. You have the type of insurance where you can, it's really difficult to request any type of test or whatever that be. Another option that you have is to actually go onto Amazon, and for $150 you can buy a home thyroid kit, and it's going to measure, it's going to give you a full thyroid panel. So I actually tested this against a blood test, and it's pretty accurate, and I'm going to put it up on the screen here for you to see what it looks like. And it's really convenient because what you could do is you order it, it comes to your house, you take the sample, and then you mail it back, and then the results come for you in the mail again. And it does measure your TPO, your T3, your T4, and your TSH hormone levels. So it's a really convenient way if you, again, don't have access to going into a doctor's office to do this. And so remember, guys, you have to have your thyroid in check. You have to have a healthy functioning thyroid in order to tackle your weight loss goals effectively. So this is it for me, guys. If you enjoyed the content of the video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up. And for more weight loss tips, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, where and then hit that little bell notification so you'll know when I'm posting new content on the channel. This is Dr. K, all the way, signing out.